Welcome to Yoga with Krysta, the place to be to deepen your practice and to find balance in all aspects of your life. My name is Krysta French, and today's class is a total body stretch yoga flow to feel amazing. So we'll begin in child's pose today. So just come onto your mats, allowing the hips to press back toward the heels. Let your forehead find the ground, arms stretched out in front of you. You might roll your forehead gently back and forth if that feels good. And then when you feel ready, you can begin to shift forward, coming onto your hands and knees, finding your tabletop. Move through your cat and cow. Start to link your breath together with your movement. So as you inhale, belly falls, heart opens up, tailbone presses back. On your exhale, round the spine, push the ground away. And you might incorporate different movements here, like looking over your shoulder, letting shoulder and hip connect. You might even start to circle your body around. So as you inhale, chest comes forward. On your exhale, rounding back, almost like you're pressing back into a child's pose. Make sure that you switch directions. Nice big fluid movements, allowing the shoulders and hips to get involved, and then press back to find child's pose. Walk your hands over to the right side so you feel a nice light stretch across the left side of the body, getting into the ribs and the intercostal muscles. Walk the hands back to center over to the left side. So nice gentle stretch across the right side of the body. Staying with the breath, come back to center. And then come up into your tabletop as you reach your right arm high, and then sweep that arm underneath the left. So threading the needle. And that left hand can stay or it can move. So my preference is to walk that hand over to the right corner of the mat, but you can always drop it across the lower back. Now press the palm into the ground, sweep the right arm high again, come back into your table, switching sides. So inhale, left arm high, exhale, slide that arm under. And then again, you might walk the fingertips over. You might drop the hand across the back. So just warming up the body here, warming up the spine and the hips and the shoulders. Lower the right hand down, lift the left arm, place the hand back down, take one more round, cat and cow. And then toes tuck under, finding our first downward facing dog. So begin to find movement here, pedaling through your heels, shifting the weight across your hips. The head stays heavy. Maybe you shake the head out a little bit, yes and no. Releasing any tension in the jaw and in the face. And take full, steady breaths. Deep inhales, deep exhales. From here, inhale, reach your right leg high. Start to open your hip up. So you can roll around knee, hip, and ankle. Take big circles if that feels good. Come back to a straight leg, step it forward, and lower the back knee. So coming into a low lunge. Keep the hands down for a moment, and then if it feels good, you can reach the hands all the way up. Maybe the palms are pressing. Maybe you look back toward the thumbs. If that doesn't feel okay on the neck, keep the gaze straight ahead, and then lower your hands down. Back toes tuck under. Lower the back heel and sweep your arms up to find warrior one. So the hip bones are squaring forward. Maybe the palms are pressing. And then open your arms wide to find warrior two. So you're going to need to readjust the stance here. So we're working right heel in line with the left arch. Begin to revolve your warrior. So reach that right arm all the way back. Nice big stretch across the right side body. Cartwheel your right hand down on the inside of the foot and lift that left arm high. So nice big stretch there. If it feels good, you can go into a half bind or a full bind here. So working into that nice revolved pose. Release the right hand, extend the left arm, and then lower the left hand down. So both hands are on the inside of the foot. We're finding our way into our lizard pose. So hips are squared, that right foot's on the outside of the hand. And then step back to your plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale to downward facing dog. Full, steady breath. Big inhales and big exhales. So keep in mind you can always find child's pose if you need to. On your inhale, lift the left leg high, opening through your hip. So roll around the knee, the hip, the ankle. Get a nice big stretch there. And then begin to step it up. Lower that right knee down. Untuck the toes, finding your low lunge. If it feels good, you can begin to reach your hands up. Maybe they stay down at the front thigh. So either way, we're pressing the heart and the hips forward. Really opening up here. Steady breath in, and then lower your hands as you exhale. Back toes tuck under. Begin to press that right heel down as you lift the arms all the way up to find warrior one. So hips are squaring. We're putting equal weight in the feet, and then open your arms, warrior two. Gaze drops over the left fingers. Find some softness in the shoulders. Revolve your warrior, right hand comes down, left arm extends all the way back. Nice big side body stretch, right into extended side angle pose. So that left hand comes down on the inside of the foot. We're reaching the right arm high. So this is just a variation of our extended side angle pose. If you want to take it deeper, feel free to work into that half or full bind. And if you're binding, we're pulling the right shoulder back. We're not collapsing it inward. So full steady breath. Release your hands, so left hand comes down, right arm's high, big inhale. As you exhale, lower the right hand, pivoting forward, so we're working into our lizard pose. So back knee is staying lifted, pressing your heart and your hips forward. So big stretch in the hips here. Step back to plank, inhale. Exhale, take your vinyasa. So full breaths, meeting back, downward facing dog. Pull the shoulder blades away from the ears. Let your head get heavy. Let the hips get a little bit higher. And then gaze comes forward, step or float up to the front, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, we're folding in half. Inhale, arms reach up, palms press. Hands come down through the heart and all the way down to the sides. Inhale, stretch up, lean back. Exhale to fold in half. Inhale to your flat back and hands down, step or float back to chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Steady breath in and steady breath out. Inhale, reach your right leg high behind you. Step it up in between the hands. Back heel stays lifted, reaching up to find your high lunge. So hips are squared, the back heel is still lifted. Shoulders soft, take the hands together in front of your heart. We're transitioning into dancer pose. So weight comes into the right foot as we bend the left knee. Reach the right arm high, press the left foot into the left hand, and then if it feels good, you can begin to hinge here. So as we work on any balancing pose, we always want to make sure that we're staying connected to the breath and that dristi, that gaze. Let the knees come back to touch, and then start to hug the left knee in as you cross the thigh around the right leg to find eagle legs. Then finding eagle arms, right arms coming over left arm, cross the hands, sink a little deeper, squeeze a little tighter. Release what you have, step back right where you came from, high lunge. Arms reach high, maybe a little back bend, and then lower your hands down. From here, Vashistasana, we're stepping the right foot, stacking it over the left. Hips turn to the side, reach the right arm high. So any variation is great here. And then lower the right hand, plank pose, down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, downward facing dog as you exhale. Steady breath, calm mind. Inhale, left leg lifts. And then begin to shift it forward, step it right into our high lunge. Reaching through the fingers, soften your facial features, soften your shoulders, breathe deeply. Allow your hands to come together in front of the heart. Steady your gaze. We're working into our dancer pose. So catch that right foot behind you. Press the foot into the hand. If it feels good and you want to go deeper, we're hinging forward. And if you fall out of it like I did, just come right back in. Full steady breaths. From here, knees come together. We're hugging the right knee up and over the left thigh. Eagle legs and eagle arms, right? Crossing everything, really pressing it together. Sink a little bit deeper. And then untwist, step back, right into our high lunge. Take a little back bend if it feels good. Lower the hands, stepping into Vashistasana, side plank. So left foot stacks over the right foot this time. And then again, any variation is great. If you're just taking the classic one, both feet are stacked and we're lifting that left arm. From here, lower the hand to find plank pose, and then lower down chaturanga. Vinyasa is yours, so take it or leave it. We're meeting back in downward facing dog. Let your heels drop a little bit deeper. I'm just checking back in. How's the breath? From here, gaze comes forward. Step or float up to the front, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach high, palms press. Hands lower to the heart and down to the sides. From here, hands at the hips, step the feet about inner hips width. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold and find your yoga toe grip. So find your flat back, and then we're folding and staying folded for Parangustasana. So bend your knees as much as you need to. We're working towards straight legs just to really lengthen out the hamstrings. From here, find your flat back, and then release the hands, slide the hands all the way under the feet for Parangustasana. We're folding again, so elbows are pulling out to the sides. Let the crown of the head get really heavy. Maybe shifting a little bit of weight forward into the balls of the feet. Release the grip, find a flat back. From here, lower your hands, and we're taking a squat, finding our Malasana. So hands together in front of the heart. Elbows are plugged into the inner thighs. Try to make sure that the spine is really long here. From here, you can stay, or to go deeper, the right hand releases over to the right side, left arm stretches high. Can work into your half or full bind here by taking the right hand around the outside of the knee. Left hand comes behind you, clasping those hands. Release what you have, arms are long. Take the hands back together, and then switching sides. So left hand releases to the left side, right arm high, taking a half or a full bind if it feels good. Pulling back on that right shoulder. Steady breath in. And then release as you exhale. Hands together in front of the heart. Lower your hands down. And then option here for crow pose. So Bakasana, balancing the knees over the triceps, gazes forward a few inches from the hands. And then you can step or float back, maybe into chaturanga. Take your vinyasa. Meeting back in down dog. Full steady breath here. So notice all the space you've already created in your body, in the hamstrings, in the spine. And then begin to shift forward, find your plank pose. Nice full steady inhales. As you exhale, lower all the way down onto the belly. You might wiggle the hips a little bit side to side. From here, taking a few little back bends, we're coming onto the fingertips, moving them to the sides of the body. So elbows are back. And then begin to roll your heart open. So any amount. Let your fingertips stay light. And if it feels good, start to lift the legs off the ground. Maybe you can even hover the hands off the ground. Good, so feeling that strength in the back, and then lower back down onto your belly. Soften and relax. Maybe you wiggle the hips side to side if that feels good. Let your hands come down next to your hips. Point your toes. So working into our locust pose. So full locust. Arms reach back, legs reach back. Make sure your neck is in a nice neutral position. Full breaths. Good. Breathing here. Keep reaching back. And then release what you have. Maybe you lower your forehead down onto the tops of your hands. From here, we're working right into our upward facing dog. So let your hands come down by the lower ribs. Roll your heart open, lift your thighs, and then press back right into downward facing dog. So it's a harder transition than you might think. Full steady breaths and just coming back, recentering. And then when you're ready, gaze comes forward. We're stepping or hopping through right onto our sits bones. Begin to reach your right leg out to the right side. Left foot comes in at the inner thigh. Flip your right palm up, drop it on the inside of the leg, and roll your ribs open as you reach the left hand all the way over toward the right foot. So if that's too deep, you can always bend your left elbow and take the hand behind the ear. From here, release what you have, lower the left hand down behind your hip, lift your hips, reach the right arm back, lower the hips, and just switch legs. So left leg extends, right foot's in. Begin to roll the ribs open as you reach the right arm all the way toward the foot. And think about rolling the right ribs back and the left ribs under. So everything's moving open toward the sky. Full steady breath. Release the right hand behind your hip. Press into the palm, little stargazer pose. Reach that left arm back. And then lower the hips back down. From here, you can extend the legs, give them a nice little shake. Right leg stays long, left foot comes in, Vashistasana. Fold over that right leg. Think about reaching the heart forward. Maybe the belly's pressing down on top of the thigh. And the hands might come around the foot, or they might just drop down onto the ground. Either way is perfect. From here, lifting back up, begin to cross the left foot over the right thigh, and then if you want to continue that twist, bend the right knee. From here, left hand's behind you, right arm reaches high, twist to the left side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to find a deeper twist. We're gazing back over the left shoulder. Untwist. Walk your hands to the right side, little counter pose. Come all the way back up. Right leg extends, left leg extends, switching sides, Vashistasana on the left side, folding over that leg. So reaching the heart forward, soften your shoulders, breathe big. From here, slowly lifting back up, finding your twist. Right foot comes across the thigh, option to bend the left knee. This time, right hand's behind you, left arm reaches high, and then we're twisting toward the right side. Every time you inhale, get a little bit longer in your spine. With every exhale, find a deeper twist. Full, steady breath. Begin to untwist, walk your hands to the opposite side, take a little counter pose. Come back up, uncross your legs, give them a shake. So from here, we're gonna move right into a little bit of core work. So option just to hold your boat pose, right? So lifting the heart. Maybe you lift the legs nice and long. So if you want to take it up another notch, from here, we're gonna get a little bit deeper. Right, we're going to cross the shins, lower the hands down, and pick up the whole body. All right, so cross those shins, lower the hands, pick up the body, breathe, lower the hips, back into boat pose, Navasana. Steady breath, keep breathing. And it doesn't matter if nothing comes off the ground, as long as you're really working the core. Good. Cross your shins, lower the hands, pick it up, and then come back up, boat pose, Navasana. Steady breath. Breathing, cross your shins, lower the hands, pick it up, and then releasing right into our bound angle pose. So feet come together, knees are open, inhale to lengthen, and exhale, we're folding over. So this is a great counter pose for all those boat poses. Right, so that's a lot of work in the hip flexor area, and this helps to open that up a little bit. From here, lift back up. Take the knees toward each other and extend the legs long. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, fold over, Paschimottanasana, our seated forward fold, sealing everything in. From here, lift back up, and then start to slowly lower down onto your back. Begin to draw your knees into your chest, give them a little squeeze, rock side to side. And then we'll work right into our Supta Badakanasana. So feet together, knees open, one hand over the heart, the other on top of the belly. So close your eyes here and just breathe. Focus your attention on the breath. Take another really good quality breath. And then releasing the hands, you can let them come on the outside of the knees to pull them back into your chest. Keep the right knee in, extend the left leg long, and then start to cross the body. So right knee comes over to the left side. Feeling a little spinal twist here. You might even look over the right shoulder if that feels good. Let your knee come back to center, hug it in, and then begin to switch legs. So left knee pulls in, right leg long, and then cross the left knee over toward the right side. So big stretch here. Gaze can drop over to the left side. And then bring it back to center, give it a nice big hug, and then finding a full happy baby. So hands come around the outside of the feet as you draw the knees wide, opening through the hips. And then when you're ready, extending both legs long, starting to find some stillness, coming down into Shavasana. So our quote today comes from Rodney Yee. And he says, the most important pieces of equipment you need for doing yoga are your body and your mind. So begin to bring some awareness back into your body, deepening the breath. You might start to send a little bit of movement back into the fingers and the toes. Eventually roll off to the side, cradling the knees in toward the chest, resting for just another moment. And slowly starting to press yourself up, finding a comfortable, easy seat. Lengthening through the spine. Breathing big. And then let the hands come together in front of your heart. Take a moment to thank yourself for choosing to practice. And thank you all so much for sharing your own practice with me. The light in me bows to the light in you. If you enjoyed this yoga class, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel, and maybe share this yoga class with a friend who might need a little extra time for themselves today. For more resources, please check out KrystaFrench.com. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the mat soon.